Hello and welcome, it's Wes here, and today we're going to be doing Mystery Person. The video that everybody just kind of watches, but whatever, it does change things up. So hopefully this video will be a good one. I am a little tired today, so please forgive me if I jumble my words here and there. I don't know what it was. Everybody has those nights where you just kind of sleep like crap. I mean, I wouldn't say it was the worst night I've ever had, but it wasn't great. But hey, we're still going to try and do a video, see what happens. As always with my videos, you can find the timestamps down below in the comment section. Please look for my name. It'll be highlighted and pinned. Show more info and you'll see all the blue links there to go to whatever zodiac sign you want to watch. Those links are there for your convenience, so you don't have to pan through the video trying to find your sign. All right. If you need to get a hold of me, my email is in the description box, as always, of my videos. All right. If you need to write me some feedback or you want a personal reading. All right. Please remember, with tarot readings, it doesn't matter if it's my readings or somebody else's. Not every message can resonate with every person. So please use your judgment when you're hearing something. If it doesn't sound like your situation, don't force things that don't apply. All right. Don't know why people do that, but there are people that do. All right. Typically, my readings on my channel are always about ex-partners, but for the mystery person, who knows? Could be anybody. So I don't really put any restrictions on this particular video because I don't really do it that often. But we'll just see what comes out. All right. All right, and thanks for anybody that leaves comments on my videos. I also try to make sure I remind you, I do appreciate anybody that has been coming to the channel continuously, watching my videos, so thank you. All right, there's quite a few of you out there. And I always just want to remind you that you are appreciated. All right. The year is coming to an end, so I guess Happy New Year to... Well, it's not New Year's yet, but it's getting there, and hope everybody had a good Christmas. If you celebrate it, if you don't, that's okay. All right, I think I pretty much covered everything. Oh, we don't have the signs. That's a problem, isn't it? That is the problem. Aries. Wow, we had a card that just came out automatically. All right. I was going to ask who this mystery person is, but the tarot already beat me to it, so we'll just take it. All right, we have the Three of Wands here. It is Aries energy, so maybe the tarot's trying to tell us that it has something to do with your sign. All right, this could be a person that wants to move things forwards with you, potentially. Potentially also a person that is sitting on the sidelines, Aries. All right. This card can sometimes indicate waiting for results, all right, which tells us that it may be an individual that has attempted to shoot their shot with you. Now, how that's going to look in real life, who knows? It could be somebody that's just started communicating with you, or it's somebody that actually has made references or suggestions that they want something more than just, hey, like, are you free, you know, for lunch or something? Maybe it's somebody trying to ease themselves slowly into your life. This could also have been somebody that has made suggestions that could be interpreted as, I'm interested in you, but you're not really sure, all right? But my impression is, whichever way we look at it, it's a person that has done something. Some form of interaction with you. So if you've had no interaction at all with anybody, I suppose you could still take it as somebody that's just waiting around, but I would say less likely, right? Tell us about this person that's hanging out, prairies, or waiting around, or wants to move things forward. What is in this person's energy? So we have the Four of Swords reversed. That's good. What else? So we'll also have the Five of Cups reversed here. Whoever this person is has very strong energy suggesting they have got over something, or they are trying to move out of some type of drag period. All right. When I say drag period, what I mean by that is it's like those typical life strains or situations where either it's you lost a job, or you're going through some dull period in your life where things aren't really that exciting, or you came out of a relationship, something, right? And then life kind of just has that, it just drags for a while, right? It doesn't really it's not getting worse, but it's not getting better either. This kind of seems like a person that's trying to exit that, or trying to push past some, I don't know, like they're trying to improve their situation, right? Why are they trying to do that? Because it's suggesting they've gone through some type of lull period already, right? Typically, both of these, if we took them upright, would suggest like some type of isolating period, or they haven't done much, all right? Or it's just been stale, all right? I guess they figured they need an Aries to kind of spice it up a little bit, turn the heat up a notch or two. Maybe they're the gas and you're the fire. All right, that was very lame, but you get the point. How does this person see Aries, whoever they are? This person that's got over some lull period, wants to move things forwards. Six of Pentacles. So this person sees you as somebody that is fairly giving, generous, caring. All right. This is positive to see this because it kind of suggests that whoever this person is feels in some ways that you are not a stiffler, or you have the potential to be somebody that can be open to wanting to, I don't know, just cooperate, participate. You get people that are closed off and others that are more open, which is a good thing because it gives a indirect message to somebody that, hey, I might be willing to take things to another level if it's the right situation and the right time, right? But you know, you gotta be willing, right? You gotta give some type of indication that says that this person, whatever reason, seems to think that could be a thing, or that you're open to something, all right? This can also suggest this person may feel that you're in a better position or in a, just in general, a decent situation right now where it could be good to facilitate something. Especially if you've been giving recently. Whether that's you have given that we don't know who this person is, could be suggestive that some of you were extra talkative, flirty, or you gave some type of attention, time, money to this person, which may have indirectly influenced them. Like, I didn't know Aries wasn't a cold, spineless bastard. They actually gave me a $5 gift card to Home Depot. I mean, I know they did say that their toilet was broke, so I don't know if that was a suggestion they wanted me to fix it, but I'm still going to take it as a good thing. Maybe they just wanted me to have a stick of gum, because that's pretty much all I can afford with that gift card. Who knows? Well, based on this card, it suggests you gave them more than $5. But these days, who knows? You know, a $50 gift card basically gets you $5 these days. So that's why I'm saying that. How does Aries see this person? How will the tarot suggest Aries sees this person? Come on, man. 8 of Wands. So it's almost implying potentially somebody that you have recently picked it up with. So in other words, you weren't talking with this person for a while, but now you are. B, you just communicate with this person either on a daily basis or you have been talking a lot with this person. All right. And C, it is potentially a person that you could see things moving in a better direction. You just don't know where. Could be into your bedroom. You know, sky's the limit. So, this to me sounds like if I had to take a guess, it is somebody that has been recently introduced into your life or you've come in contact with. But there's still some mystery here. But you know how like those situations happen when it's like somebody comes out of something or there's been like, again, a stagnant period and then it's all of a sudden there's some type of push and then you guys run into each other or for whatever reason life puts you in each other's paths again and then it's like, oh, well, let's just see where this goes. All right. Well, this reading's pretty straightforward. So I guess, what else can I ask? What is a potential challenge? Because this seems pretty good overall. What may be a challenge coming up between Aries and this person for it to move forwards, if it does at all? A card comes up and it goes with the 8 of Wands. It says, missing the opportunity. Wow. I mean, it's almost like the tarot really couldn't, they're like, I better not fuck this up. I better just say something direct and straightforward. So Ace of Pentacles is, it is a problem card here because what it's saying there is this card can be somebody that, and pay attention to here because this is a critical piece of when it's reversed. It's saying that it's not that somebody doesn't see the opportunity for something. It's that they're not satisfied with it. In other words, it doesn't meet all the criteria, so they blow through it or look past it. How does this look? Because this card typically is more read in financial settings. So in a financial setting, it would be somebody that's looking for a job. Well, there's lots of jobs. Perhaps the job that's willing to hire them, and there's a couple of them, looks almost pretty good, but you know, it's 5 extra miles and I just don't want to fucking, I don't want to do that. or I read a handful of bad reviews from disgruntled employees, so I just think I'm going to pass it up. All right? So there could be reasons that tell you to choose otherwise, right? So that opportunity goes on by. Well, it's suggesting something here in a romantic sense, like there could be something here, but it really depends on what you're going to do with it. Perhaps you're hearing about this past sob story is just going to be, I don't know if I want to deal with that. Although it did seem pretty good when he was throwing that black card on the table. What is the reason Aries would throw this opportunity away? With the Ace of Pentacles reversed, why or how does that come about? It says because Aries becomes undecided. I just don't know. I know they have 6-pack abs and 6 foot high and a 6-figure salary. But I just don't know. What was this about? Perhaps some of you come up with some reason why this may not work. And it's saying that could, unfortunately, flush this offer down the drain. That's what I got for you, Aries. Be careful. Spending way too much time on your sign. But I was trying to give you some love. Taurus. Just came out of Aries. So it's your turn now. So hopefully it's as good as Aries reading. Tell me about the mystery person for our Taurus. Sign of Taurus. What can we know about this mystery person? So we have the 6 of Cups reversed. All right. What does this mean for you? I have no idea. I'm just kidding. This could be somebody that is an ex-partner here immediately with this card. Why do I say that with such confidence? Well, I don't actually, but where I'm getting that from, Taurus, is that this card does talk about somebody that has potentially had memories with you. Good memories. But it's talking about nostalgia. In other words, this person ruminates or spends too much time thinking about when it was sweeter, because that probably implies it's not going so good right now. In other words, the good times have passed. That ship sailed, as my ex once told me. It sailed. I'm like, fine. Well, I'll get on some other boat then. I said that confidently, but I was really fucking pissed. But because I wanted to get on her boat, but she wouldn't let me on. Anyways, that was like a decade plus ago. But anyways, yeah. So it's a person that's ruminating or spending too much time thinking of the past here. All right. So I get a sense it is an ex-partner, all right? Another problem with this card is that it can also indicate that it's a person that has, because of the absence of you being around towards, it means that all the problems and all the issues and all the reasons that caused the ending of the relationship are now a background story. Which isn't good, because it tells us that now they're just focusing on all the good stuff, right? Ignoring the bad. Why is that probably going on? Because potentially they haven't found something better, or the grass wasn't greener. I don't know. Could be a lot of reasons. Maybe they did find something and it didn't work out, all right? Or they just, because of life circumstances, it's just, I don't know, they're going through a dry period or a stagnant period, and so they're just reflecting by default on something that was familiar. All right, tell us about what is in this mystery person's energy for Taurus, this nostalgic person. can we know about them? Says the Ten of Wands. And what else is in this person's energy? So it says Three of Pentacles reversed. Whoever this person is definitely dealing with something. Tell us more about the Three of Pentacles reversed. We have the Moon here. So this is a person most certainly going through some period of hardship. There's a high degree of unknown when it comes to this person. In other words, they may be experiencing some type of problem with their life direction. Not justice that came out. I didn't ask anything, but I'll keep it there. This person may be trying to find some type of just stability in their life, or they're making some type of life shift. Why is Ten of Wands present in their energy? Oh, shit. So it says Two of Swords here. This may explain why this is here. It seems to me, Taurus, that this is an individual that, I don't want to say, I'm not saying they're stuck, but it's like they're in some, in the Aries reading that I just did, the person was essentially coming out of some type of lull period or stagnation period. This is suggesting this person here is still actually in that kind of energy. They're not, either their life is kind of at a halt, or it's not progressing much. There is a focus on oneself with this person. Why it's suggesting they're doing that is because there's a lot of uncertainty, or they're hesitant. It's not really too clear about what, though. I'm assuming they just don't know where things are going right now in their life. Which also can indicate that things are not going to this person's favor. All right? Does that really mean anything for you? Probably not. But it does tell us, again, why I'm interested in that is because it's giving us clues as to why they're being described as Six of Cups reversed. Because it's telling us that given that things aren't going so hot and great for this person, they're in nostalgic energy because that's where the better times were at. It's not now. So apparently you did something for them. How does this person see Taurus? This bummed out person, I guess. They think that you're doing quite well for yourself. All right. Another supporting card right here suggesting probably why they're in this energy, because this may be a person that feels like everybody but them is doing pretty good. I guess Taurus is just living it up, probably traveling with Pitbull in Miami. You know, my videos would be a lot better if there was no copyright and I could actually play music and, add images and stuff like that. But, in the past when I try to do that, YouTube immediately copyrighted me. Sucks, but I think videos would be so much more better if I could do that. Anyway, so this person thinks you're doing quite well and you're living your best life. For some of you, for others of you, you are just, in general, content, happy, or doing something. You're not bothered that this person's gone. But in my opinion, this is probably a individual that has been gone for quite some time. What else? How does Taurus see this person? The Magician reversed. Whoa. What is the reason for that? Why does Taurus see this person as Magician reversed? It says the Six of Cups reversed. This may have been a person, Taurus, that you could not get it to start with, all right? It's almost describing that this is a person that you, in some ways, saw them as just either a pile of problems or a pile of setbacks, or you just, like, you're putting time, energy, or effort into it, and it wasn't able to start, it wasn't able to go anywhere, or there was things complicating it, all right? Maybe you felt that this person was stuck in this problem or dicking around with that, and they weren't, it's like what mattered to you was like you were trying to kickstart this like a business, and it just wasn't, all right? So you had to give them the foreclosure notice. You may also feel that this person is stuck in the past, and you may not be wrong, because it actually suggests they are. Perhaps you're like, yeah, this person's not focusing enough on the now. They're always worrying about how it was back then or whatever, and that's just not realistic, because we're in the present. You may be wanting them to focus more on the now and stop bringing up shit from the past, whether that's an ex-partner of some other kind, or their old failed marriage or something. You're like, dude, I just don't want to hear it. I don't. I want to focus on me, you, and I. Basically, more me, less you. What can we expect from this situation in the near future going into 2026? More uncertainty with the moon. There's a lot of unknowns, but this card can also suggest things are yet to be revealed, right? Where there is darkness, there will be light eventually. In other words, that right now it's saying things are clouded, but at some point, something will be revealed. That is the mystery with the moon energy, is that it really just is basically a question mark, but it does say in the tarot, depending on which versions you read, is that it does often, if you follow the moon cycles, there's periods of darkness and there's period of clarity. So if you're following that, in some ways there should be a revealing point, wherever life takes us, where it'll kind of cast some type of light on where things truly stand here. All right. It gives us double moon energy here, so it is suggesting that this is a person that, again, it's just saying in summary that they seem to be a bit stagnant, stuck. But if I had to take a guess, it is saying that something will shift here. All right. The problem with this reading is it does not actually guarantee that this you and them are actually going to be a thing. All right, but I would imagine there will be some type of interaction again, or something will happen, and it will probably give a potential choice. All right. That's what I got for you, Taurus. Good luck to you. I can't really say if this is a good or a bad reading. I don't know. I don't know. This person really is a mystery, even to me. Here's something I'm going to say with what I know of the tarot. All right. Odds are statistically good that, in my opinion, from reading tarot all these years, when these types of readings happen, it probably indicates because there's some type of unknown potential that you can't see, that only the universe, God, spirit, whatever you believe in, knows where it's going to go, all right, and how it plays out. All right, so again, with that moon energy, it can suggest there are things you just don't know. But who knows if they are good or bad, right? Thanks, Taurus. Leave me a like if you got something out of that. Gemini. Tell us about the mystery person for our crazy Geminis. What can we know about this person? What can we know about this person? All right, it tells us a Emperor reversed. Okay. Clarify Emperor reversed. Why is it showing this person as Emperor reversed? There's too many cards. Let's actually use, let's use this deck. Okay. What can we know about the Emperor reversed? So it says the Two of Wands here. So we got I believe, I can't remember, I think this is Aries as well. So we got a double Aries energy here. So this is a person here, Gemini, that potentially, there's two ways I can look at this. This is a person that has a strong focus on self. All right, we'll start with the bad version. All right, this may be a person that could be vain, somebody that spends way too much time worrying about little, like, just things that maybe are to you or other people are not so relevant. All right, this person may not have the best life priorities. All right, perhaps they have physically appealing features, or they have potential in some other world to be a great person, but you've just noticed that their priorities are not that great. All right, perhaps they are terrible with money. This is like that person that gets $5,000 and by the end of the week it's gone. And you're like, what did you spend it on? The rent's due. Oh yeah, I went out to the club and bought like a $2,000 bottle. Now you're like, you don't have the money for that. Why did you do that? It could be that kind of person. It's showing somebody that should have these qualities of taking care of the bills, being a good leader, aspiring to become a senior manager at some company, trying to improve themselves, but they're not doing those things. What's the reason? Oftentimes when it's reversed, can talk about cutting corners, doing half-assed work, knowing I'm screwing other people, but hey, I'm getting more money, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I might step on some people's toes, including my girlfriend or my wife, but hey, I'm focusing on myself. So this person can sometimes attract the wrong attention or get a bad reputation, or just being known to be somebody that's just unfortunately has that potential but flushed it down the drain. All right. It goes to Two of Wands reversed, which tells us that this is a person that's heavily undecided, or they frequently get stuck, stalled, or don't know which way they're going. All right. They tell you one thing, but then they change their mind. Why? Because they can't commit to a direction. Right? Two of Wands, when it's reversed, it's like suggesting somebody that gets faced with options, but they just don't know. Now, either they're generally confused, right? Sometimes people just need more time, or this is a person that just doesn't want to choose. All right? They just don't want to. All right? So, now, This is on the other, I told you there was 2 angles we could look at this. And the other angle, Gemini, is it's a person, all right, if you're not dealing with a total bum or someone like that, this can also describe a person that focuses way too much time and effort on themselves, whether they're working out at the gym all the time, it's all about their job, it's all about the career, and they lack the ability to really connect in a relationship. So if you're a female watching, you may see this person as checking off the dots. Man, they got this, they got a nice car, they got this, but they just don't really give a shit when they're in the connection. And you're like, you're a background noise, right? Why does that relate in the Emperor reverse? Because it's saying that this person, despite all their wealth and all their success or whatever they're doing, they just can't seem to do the basic things like connect on an emotional level or something like that. Or they have the potential to be cold and callous. But, they say a lot of people that do well in business are just like that. They have to be cutthroat. So this person may, unfortunately, just not do well when it comes to relationships. This person may, with the 2 of Wands reversed, be like, I just don't know if I have time to commit to this or try this. So, a lot of things to unpack with that one, but just take what obviously makes sense to you. All right, tell us about this person that is a handful for Gemini. What is in their energy? Mystery person, Gemini. What is in their energy? Okay. So we have the 9 of Pentacles and we have the Moon. This one is going to be tricky to interpret here because of the 9 of Pentacles. To me, this seems like immediately it's going to be a person that's looking for someone that's either an equal. Okay. 9 of Pentacles can be a single, independent, bachelor or bachelorette, somebody that's doing well for themselves, also is going to meet the check marks. Again, it wouldn't really matter with the description I gave you earlier. If this person is business oriented, doing well, then they're looking for somebody that's got all the check boxes. All right. On the flip side, if they are a bit of a bum, okay, not a bum, but just a bad leader or something like that, this person may still be searching for their perfect candidate. All right. The Moon, though, is probably telling us, though, that there's a degree of unknown or uncertainty. All right. I'd probably assume they just don't know if they're even going to get what they're looking for. Tell us more about the Moon. What is clouding this mystery person for Gemini? So it's saying the 7 of Pentacles reversed. This immediately, Gemini, I'm going to tell you right here. Whoever this mystery person is definitely has to have some sun. Don't care who they are. It would have to be somebody that has some, I don't know, I'd have to maybe double check it, but type A personality, all right? Or somebody that has very high expectations, all right? You get people that have high expectations from all walks of life, whether they're, well, put it this way. We generally assume that if you have high expectations, then you have such value or worth that you can do that, right? This person may be very specific or picky on what they want because they may put their value way the fuck up there, all right? From your standpoint, maybe you don't see them like that, but this person may, just for whatever reason, they've got very high standards. It's almost suggesting here that this person doesn't want to repeat, and why it's saying that Moon energy is there is they don't want to repeat mistakes from the past or bad investments. So in other words, they feel like they kind of got shafted the last time, or it wasn't what they wanted, but don't worry. I just got to be a bit more careful this time. So this is somebody that most certainly things did not go in their favor the last time or a few times before, and they're trying to avoid those. Well, they're not trying to avoid, they're worried. And that's actually what I should be saying here. They're worried or nervous that those things will happen again. That's why it's saying there's uncertainty. So they are trying to find the perfect bachelor or bachelorette. Perhaps it's Gemini. How does this person see Gemini? Says Ace of Swords. Wow. This person sees you as somebody that they could talk to, or it's somebody they could easily communicate with, or have some type of communication with. All right. This person may also feel that you're pretty transparent or you're direct. In other words, they can, I don't know, they can kind of get whatever information they need from you when they talk from you. In other words, so it's like there are some people that are just very difficult to deal with when it comes to communication. This person may feel that you are not that. You are somebody that can easily communicate with. Well, we had the Eight of Cups here. We're going to flip that back up here. All right. What are cards that are flipped here? Okay, it was just two. All right. How does Gemini see this person? This mystery person for Gemini. So it says the Three of Pentacles reversed here, which is again going to align with this. You may feel that this is a person that is somewhat self-absorbed. The Three of Pentacles in its reverse directly can talk about self-absorbed energies, or somebody that just does not need the help of others. I mean, why does somebody not need the help or assistance from others, or the wisdom or knowledge? It's because they know it better. This is somebody that would absolutely know it better. So you may get a sense that this is a person that, if you were to talk to, seems to have an answer for everything. All right? You were to say, hey, guess what I learned today? Or I just found out. Oh, yeah, I already know about that. Yeah, but yeah, that's what, a lot of the stupid people think that. But actually what's going on? Oh, I was watching this article on UFOs. Actually, you know what? I already know, I've done my research on that. It's all a bunch of stuff. That's what the ignorant people, the stupid people believe. This is that person that may put down everything. Really and truly what's actually happening is, I haven't done a lick of research myself, but I'm going to tell you that I know everything. Because it makes me feel more important. All right? You may get a sense that this person is not a team player, and it can be a bit difficult, which, if that is true, the tarot suggests that is actually correct. Why is this what does the tarot suggest this person is has self-absorbed, how do I word that? Why does it suggest this person has selfish qualities? I don't think this person's intentionally being selfish. There's some reason why they must be acting like that. I can tell you that there's always a reason why people act the way that they do. Why does this person have self-preservation as a strong, dominant quality? This mystery person. Why is self-preservation? So this person, it says, wants to be successful. What is driving that? What is driving this insatiable desire to be successful? Oh, man. It says a failed union or relationship. In other words, they got rejected. So it's saying that this is what's driving them. In other words, I got dumped. I was a loser. I don't know. It was evidently something that rocked their emotional core. So now this person is trying to make up for it. In other words, well, I'll show you. You thought I was a loser? Well, not anymore. I'm gonna be that badass. Yeah. So in summary, Gemini, what do we learn here? This is a person that unfortunately potentially has some degree of a lower self-esteem, I would think. All right. Will you ever find that out? Probably not. I think this person is choosing deliberately to focus on themselves heavily because they are trying to add value to themselves, or they want people to see that they have some degree of self-worth, standards, or whatever. All right. I think this person probably has a high chance they come across as an asshole or somebody that is just, again, self-absorbed. But it would suggest from the tarot that that's coming from a unfortunate heartbreak or something that damaged them emotionally in the past. High, like 99% chance it was a rejection. This person was rejected and felt that they were inadequate, and they're trying to compensate for that. In other words, prove this failed situation wrong, that actually you're the loser, not me. All right, but it's coming from a place of hurt. All right, so whatever the case is, I think this person may be a guarded person. They're trying to not, I don't know, again, maybe not make mistakes again. This person may see some potential with you here, Gemini. All right, why? There's obviously some qualities you're manifesting or doing that this person feels may be suitable on their checklist. All right. What is the truth about this person behind closed doors? Oh my God. All right, we got two cards here. So, very evident that this person wants a connection. They just want to be loved. Probably because they got dumped the last time. I'll show that last connection that I can have a beautiful connection. Yeah. I strongly get the sense of this particular reading, which is not very common, but this person has some type of life path of trying to forever make up for what was lost. All right. I'm not saying this couldn't be bad, Gemini. It's just this person definitely, I think, has a great or substantial chance of being misunderstood, right? Because I think they could, down the road, be a great person. But unfortunately, this charade or whatever is going on here may complicate their path forward, because they may be seen as a very selfish person. Good luck to you, Gemini. That's what I got. Cancer. How are the crab people doing? All right. Or as bad as an intuitive tarot, I haven't watched her channel in like a year, but she'd always say, "How's my Krabby Patties doing?" Well, I have Cancer in my moon sign, so it's got to count for something. That's probably the only reason why I'm even doing tarot. Because my Aquarius side is pretty dominant as well. Anyways, let's get your reading. Tell us about the mystery person for Cancer. Who is this person? What can we know? What can Cancer know? It says the Page of Swords. This card carries a lot of curiosity. Somebody that loves to probe, ask a lot of questions. All right. High potential, whoever this person is somebody that you are not directly suspecting, or it is somebody that is trying a very passive and slow approach. You get people, you get certain males more typically, and I guess if you're a guy watching, there can be in some cases more direct females that will just approach and make their position very clear about why they're there. And then you get other people that will be ankle biters. They'll just stick around. They'll never really make their position very clear. Maybe it's confidence problems, I don't know. Or they're questioning whether that you're going to like them or care. All right? Or that's somebody that could even be with this card, somebody you're not entirely too friendly with yet. All right? Perhaps you only met them once or twice. All right? This card can indicate somebody that is being nosy, looking at your profile information, trying to figure out what you're doing. How many husbands do you have? How many wives do you have? Are you on America's Most Wanted? Why would they be doing that? Because they're trying to figure out if you are relationship material. Would Cancer be interested in me and my bird? Well, I guess there's two of them. I don't have kids, but I do have birds. So, they made this kid look like he has such a brat, like a pouty face, like, I don't know. Tell us about this mystery person for Cancer. What is in their energy towards Cancer? It says judgment. This person is trying to make some sense of their direction moving forward. This has to be somebody that is A, coming out of something, or B, an ex-partner. All right? So if it's a new person, they may be getting over some relationship, and if it's a ex-partner, they're trying to probably have another start with you. All right? Just gonna probe a little bit. Because I already know I'm blocked on pretty much every other app and phone number. But they don't know about my secret account. Maybe it's indicating their Twitter profile. I don't know. How does Cancer see this? No, how does this person see Cancer? This mystery person. How do they currently see Cancer? Oh. This person may believe strongly or adamantly that you're already involved. And if you're not involved, this person may believe that you do have somebody. The question is where? Where are you hiding them? This is that scenario, Cancer, where the profile information doesn't really indicate whether you're in a relationship or not. Really gonna have to be a strong detective here, because I'm almost certain somewhere in that closet, Cancer is hiding them. I have a boyfriend. Aww. How does Cancer see this mystery person? What can we know? So the Two of Wands comes out. This is super important because it tells us that this is an individual that you are familiar with and you don't really know where their situation is going either. But this is also, with this particular pairing of energy, is suggesting that this person has more interest in you than you do to them. Probably like if you were to ask a Cancer, and we hadn't told them about this tarot reading, it would be somebody, you know, I don't know, let's say that we're playing God here. You would know that this person is keeping tabs on a Cancer, and then you went to that Cancer and be like, you know, what do you think of John over there? Oh, I don't know. I think he's just, you know, he's just figuring himself out. You know, he you know, we talk from time to time. He's just, you know, we're friends. God would be like, just friends? Cancer would be like, yeah, just friends. Why? What'd you have in mind? All right, so this may suggest, because again, Two of Wands can be choice of partners. This also could probably suggest this particular Cancer knows that this person is single. You may also potentially, for certain Cancers, already know that you're an option to this person, or could be. But this does ask the question of this person may be very convinced or is trying to convince themselves that you must potentially have somebody that you're sexting or you're involved with. Well, is that true? Just kidding. Hey, Cancer, I still know what you did last summer. I do. What can we expect from this mystery person going into 2026 towards Cancer? Or the situation, or anything in general? What can we know? This person will shoot their shot, it says. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Now, there's something here that I find interesting, is that in the Aries reading, I got a similar... Actually, I'm not 100%. It was either Aries or it was Taurus. But they got something where it was suggesting they could miss an opportunity. This is saying this person will just come and probably potentially try and start something with you. All right. How would that probably look? It probably suggests that despite this person's potential concern that you may be involved, they may just say, you know what, F it. Let's just go and try it and find out. This is only one way to know. What's the worst that could happen, man? Just a rejection? Well, we just saw in the previous reading that pretty much scarred the shit out of that person. That was in Gemini's reading. So who knows? Maybe Cancer's going to do a number in this one too. What will be the challenge of this Ace of Pentacles for Cancer when it comes to this person? What will be the challenge? I have this 9 of Pentacles. I'm going to get one more card. Why does this say that would be a challenge? 2 cards come out here. Why does it say the 9 of Pentacles would be a challenge? It says King of Wands. It doesn't help me either. Where is the problem with that? I'm not really seeing what the issue is. Maybe there isn't one. So it says 5 of Swords over the 4 of Wands. Conflict over a relationship. Why would that be a problem? So I have to be careful here. So the 5 of Swords can talk about Alright, so here's what I'm going to say. There's one of 2 potential things that could happen here. Well, there's more than one actually. But the first one is, if you are a Cancer that is kind of seeing somebody, or you're kind of in a relationship already, it is saying that this potential, whatever this is, will cause a problem. Because it is saying that this person will come around and will challenge whether you're truly single or not. In other words, some sort of conflict with whoever you're involved with will occur because of this offer that gets dumped. Probably that this person finds out about it. So that is potential scenario 1. The second thing is that if you're not in a commitment of any kind, it can also suggest there could be some quarreling or something around that, because this can talk about people probing a little too harshly or playing mind games with each other, again, over a connection. So it could suggest something, again, coming up to whether you're involved or seeing somebody could be an issue here. The only way I could see that potentially happening is if, when people get to know each other and then they start probing a bit too hard, almost speculating that somebody's probably, you're just not telling me. I know you got somebody. All right, so why that somebody be in that state of mind, I don't know. All right, maybe they have trust issues. I still don't particularly. I think it really is situation dependent here, though. Cancer, I don't want to say doom and gloom to this. Whichever way we spin it, it is going to be an opportunity. All right. That's what it's suggesting. Right. Where it goes, who knows. But it has potential that if you're involved, this could lead to some type of drama. If you're not, less likely, still possible. But what's the positive? It's suggesting this person will shoot their shot with you in some ways. Doesn't mean to say you'll take it. All right. It does also show them in a King of Wands energy. This person will come in a very direct way. The King of Wands is somebody trying to act attractive, confident, trying to put their best foot forwards. In other words, these are my feathers. Do you like them? The example is where birds try to show off their most colorful feathers to impress a mate. It's pretty much the same thing here. It is somebody trying to show the best version of themselves, to show, this is what I'm selling. Do you want to buy it? Huh? Thanks for watching, Cancer. That's what I got for you. Would Cancer want what this person is selling? It says evidently you would. Whatever they're selling, it says you would be interested in. Actually, you wouldn't even buy it. You'd just be like, can I just get it for free all the time? All right. All right, still like a million signs to go. Oh my God. I gotta speed this shit up. Virgo. No. We're doing Leo. Oh. Leo. Tell us about a mystery person for our Leos. Who is this person and what can we know about this person? We have this Four of Cups. I'm going to take that. And I'm going to take this too. This is an individual here. I don't know why that came off so strongly to me. But this is a person that is daydreaming about an opportunity with you. They want to do something. The Ace of Wands here is pretty powerful energy because it tells us that this person may be interested in, they're not just wanting to propose like the idea of maybe me and Leo doing something. This person may be thinking of like you guys holding hands already, you guys doing it in the shack. I mean, that's, all right. Doing it in the bed. That sounds better, all right? Ace of Wands can be a sexually charged card, all right? It is somebody that just wants to start something. Do it. It's exciting. You never know. Let's go out to some place and we get talking and everything just goes well, all right? So it is the initial energy and spark into something, all right? However, this person's sitting under the tree not doing much. It's just saying that they're fantasizing about it, but not doing much. These 3 cups here are important to also not ignore because it is suggesting that this person isn't satisfied with what they got. All I need is my Leo to complete me. Well, we all know that, you know, Leo is unfortunately not going to complete this person because that is something that a person has to find within. But in this particular case, it's suggesting somebody that is searching for something they don't have. And I think there is a degree of fantasizing that for some reason you may have some of those, something they need. What is in this person's mystery person's energy for Leo? Oh, come on now. What is in this mystery person for Leo's energy? So we have the 7 of Swords reversed. What else is in this person's energy? Not getting a whole lot from this deck. The 4 of Cups reversed, it says. So whoever this person is, Leo, is somebody that wants to make themselves known. All right? This combination, especially with the 7 of Swords being reversed, is strongly suggestive that if this person has been in the shadows, they don't want to be anymore. They want to transition into the light. In other words, make themselves known to you. Another thing is this daydreaming, that this disappointment, this lack that we talked about. The reversal is suggesting an exiting of that. Why would somebody want to do that? It's because they're getting tired of sitting under the tree. They want to do something about it. We need to do something. Leo needs to see my rod. All right? I need to introduce that to Leo. See if Leo is interested. All right? Leo would be like, I am interested in your cup of coffee. That date, yes, I am interested in that. How does Leo, no, how does this person see Leo currently? This person may be also, I'm getting attracted to the characteristics or qualities of the sign of Leo. Right? This person is seeing you as Queen of Pentacles, so they see you as meeting a lot of qualities suitable for a long-term relationship. All right? Maturity could be a thing here, especially if you are somebody watching in your 30s, 40s, or 50s. Okay, this card is most likely aligned with somebody that has the wisdom, the practicality, and the knowledge to know how to settle down. Won't really find that kind of person in rave clubs, but hey, you know, there are different flavors of, you know, or variety out there. You know, there are, I guess, some people that are responsible and still go and get completely obliterated at some of these festivals. But this is more likely a homebody. You know, I pay the bills. I got my life. I got my car. You know, I do me. All right. I'm honest. Well, I try to be. How does Leo see this person? The Eight of Cups. Somebody you left, it says. Or they left you. So I guess it's an ex-partner. Well, what else could this Eight of Cups be talking about? It says something that they closed out. Here's what I want to say here, Leo. To me, I mean, this is an ex-partner channel, so I'm going to be biased towards that. All right, but it is entirely possible in certain situations, if you know this person left a marriage that wasn't you, it was somebody else, or some other long-term relationship that they came out of, then they would have put that behind the past and they had to leave something. So you know, it would be almost implying with that interpretation, we could read it like you are aware that this person came out of that and that they had to leave something. In other words, they had to walk away from something that was very, I don't know, disappointing for them to have, you know, it ended and it was disappointing for them. All right. I'm only saying that because I know there's certain people out there that may resonate with that, but I think it's more likely it's an ex-partner that left you that you call it quits with. All right. That's in my opinion what I'm strongly thinking it is. But hey, you be the judge. All right. Whatever the case is, this person is valuing certain qualities that you have. All right. This card is most likely, as I said earlier, going to be suggesting grounded qualities. In other words, they're gravitating towards something, they want something that is more reliable or predictable. All right. Why would somebody most likely want that? It's because they're probably tired of uncertainties where it's like, hey, maybe they look great, but they're never reliable. You know, there are dating, you know, partners like that. It's like, God, they look amazing, but you can't depend on them at all because it's like they just 1 minute they're into you and then they're not. You know, so this person may be like, I'm done with that. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I got for you, Leo. What is an unexpected challenge that may occur for Leo when it comes to this person if they come around in 2026? It says the Two of Pentacles reversed. Too many balls in the air. Clarify the Two of Pentacles reversed. Oh, Queen of Cups reversed. This is suggesting the challenges for some Leos may be uncertain about their feelings towards this person. All right. When the Queen of Cups is reversed, it's suggesting potentially a Leo that doesn't really have their heart open maybe you do want love, but it's just suggesting you're romantically a bit shut off, or you're not, and maybe it's not to everyone, it could just be this person, but this person comes around and your heart's really not open to them. Or the Two of Pentacles reversed, maybe what's causing it. In other words, you feel that this person's a little erratic, or you know, you don't feel they're stable, or you have some certain issue with their qualities. All right. Why is it telling us that? Because it's saying this opportunity will probably get missed if that you know, becomes too much of a problem. All right. But anyways, that's what I got for you. Good luck to you, Leo. I don't want to deal with you anymore. Had enough. I'm on to bigger and better things. However, it could be a new person. I should have said that in the damn reading. Still could be a new person, that reading. Virgo. Tell me about the mystery person for our Virgos. What can we know about this person? This peach. It says the judgment reversed. Okay. Why is the judgment reversed occurring for this mystery person? We have the Queen of Swords up right here. This automatically suggests it may be a person that you have told already. I'm not really sure it could really start again. All right. The judgment being reversed can be read a lot of ways here, going to this Queen. Because the fact that this particular energy shows tells us also another clue. It suggests that this is a person that there's two ways we can look at it. Is one, it's either an ex, or two, it is a new person that you have a low interest to, right? Well, I don't want to say a low interest. There may be qualities about this person. Let me rephrase that. Qualities about this person that you are not sure about. The Queen is oftentimes, I've said on this channel many times, a detective card. She uses the problem with her is that while she does have the water energy in this, it's water and air, suggesting that there are emotions, but the air is more dominant. In other words, she thinks with her head first. Why is she doing that? Because she is trying to figure out what this person's scheme is. Why are they here? What are you doing? It also suggests that she... again, it could be a guy if you're watching this, just flip the roles, but it would be implying that you're trying to rely on your logic, your wisdom, your past experiences to make informed decisions. Why? So to protect your heart. So you're not as open, right? But going to the judgment reverse tells us that whoever this person is somebody that you've been a little bit careful with, right? Or if it is an ex-partner, you've told them potentially, I don't really know if a new start is going to be a thing, or you've given them some other word salad that basically says, I don't know, we'll see. Translation, I'm probably not ever going to date you, but I'm going to keep you around just in case you do some type of gymnastics that impress me. Judgment reverse can also talk about arguments or not getting along with this person. This may be a person that you have disagreed with or you find yourself disagreeing a lot with. I just want to get along with you. I just need you to agree with everything I say. Then we could get along with each other just great. Do you agree that I'm not a tyrant? Right? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Good. I won't have to use my sword then. Alright, so you can kind of see it could go a lot of ways here. Tell us about this mystery person for Virgo. What is in their energy? This person that potentially has come to a crossroads with Virgo. Maybe wary of this person. Again, why are you here? You're pulling the old Chris Hansen on them. So we have the Ten of Pentacles. Says the Seven of Wands. This person's a bit apprehensive. Well, I can't imagine why. Okay. What can we know about this treasure chest? This Ten of Pentacles. I want to take that. So this person does want something that's potentially long-term here. Why is the Seven of Wands here? And we have what is this? This is Seven of Wands as well. I'm gonna take that as well. Why does that show in their energy towards Virgo? The Seven of Wands. It says again, it's pointing to communication. What issue would Virgo have with this person? Oh man, what do we got here? We've got the Sun reversed. That's the problem, because that's not a good card to get there, because it basically suggests that when the sun is not out, there's darkness. In other words, you can talk about two things with this card. One, ego, which suggests that this is a person that is either inflating things or there's qualities about them that they're ballooning up. In other words, saying that they're very wealthy when they're not. They have this going on for them when they don't. You know, they're trying to blow themselves up or something like that. And, you know, again, like some people get really irritated when people do that, because it's like they see it as a, well, it is kind of lying in a way. It is lying actually, but it's seen negatively, all right? Because it's like somebody that's really just talking a bunch of shit, all right? The other problem is also it's somebody that is hiding things, all right? Again, it goes back to the problem with ego with this card, because it talks about someone that's hiding inadequacies or trying to compensate. So they're hiding things. You know, they don't want you to know certain negative things, all right? But it can also be something about their past, all right? So now, if this is an ex-partner, it's something, again, it could be relating to something that never had total transparency that you feel is a bit aggravating. One has to ask, why would somebody be in this energy, you know? There's obviously reasons. So you may not trust this person 100%. It's saying that communication, if it does happen, it can be a bit hostile. It's possible, it is possible this person could be a bit persistent at times. I mean, it keeps, look, there's so many ways I could look at this, but it keeps highlighting that communication is some source of tension. And it keeps, that's number one. Number two, it's saying that there's some type of like guardedness on your side. Okay. Why? I don't know. I don't really know the truth on why. what is a challenge Virgo would encounter with this person in the near future? What kind of challenge? Again, points to the Queen of Swords. Wow, what are the odds of that? So, evidently it's saying the way that you're acting towards this person is going to be a challenge. Alright? Here's why it's going to be seen as a challenge. I'm almost certain I know the answer to this. Alright? The tarot's going to basically say that because it's creating a defensive energy, it's going to complicate this. Alright? Now, the problem is that somebody will counter and say they have reasons for why they're doing that. And that's where the dilemma comes in. And I don't really know the answer and how to get around that. This is that scenario when somebody says, well, this is the reason why I act like that. So they have a valid reason. But the problem is that the way that they act leads to the negative outcome. So then somebody would counter-argue and say, well, you can't do that. Then that person's going to say, well, I have to because that's how they did. So it's one of those situations, right? So it is saying that is going to be the challenge. It's saying how you're acting towards this person. What can we expect in the near future? What can Virgo expect in the near future? We do have 5 of Wands here. So we have the Magician reversed. That's not per se good. I mean, what if Virgo was not in the Queen of Swords energy? Says the Moon. Why the Moon? So there would still, it's saying even if you weren't in the energy, there'd still be darkness. Which we've had this now twice. We had Sun reverse and Moon. Why would there still be transparency issues or darkness? It says the Knight of Cups reversed. What a frustratingly complicated situation. Like, why are we even doing a reading for this? Why does the Knight of Cups reversed happen? What causes that? On the mystery person side, why does it go reversed? What causes it to be reversed? It says because this person feels disconnected from you, which is going to come back to the sign of Virgo. Bummer. What do we learn here? It's basically pointing the finger to you, your sign, Virgo. It's saying, in summary, and I really don't care, it's just what it is. Alright, take it or leave it. Some people hate when I give these interpretations. They're like, oh, that sounds so negative. But it is what it is. It's basically implying that this is a person that, for whatever reason, you have some defensive history towards or you're guarded to. Okay, I gave my reasons for that already. They seem to still have interest in you, but the problem is that trying to make progress with you seems to be impossible. Well, not impossible, but it's difficult. All right. It keeps probing back that it's some way that the way that you're acting or the way that you talk to this person or your position or stance or something around that. All right. There seems to be some degree of clouding or darkness. All right. But surprisingly, it's pointing out that it's in some ways going to your position. The way that you're acting or communicating towards this person leads to that. And it makes them feel out in the cold or disconnect from you, which is why they just don't approach the loving. So instead of being romantic and loving or whatever, it says they don't. So it's basically registering that while they're looking for something with you, it doesn't seem that they find that. All right. Now, it's also implying that for some of you may just not see it's possible. So, I don't know. Whatever. But what's the good news here? It suggests somebody that would like to try with you, but I don't know how far they're going to get. So, good chance this could be an ex-partner. I would just, I mean, I'd be real hard pressed if this is a new person. But it's possible. But if that was true and it's a new person, then they see you as incredibly guarded towards them. Like, you don't trust them, or you're just, I don't know. Good luck to you, Virgo. Yeah. Good luck to you. Have a great day. Show you too. So we have our spiritual guide here. Do you have any interest at all in the tarot? Doesn't look like it. All right, you can go. Nope, go to the bed. There you go. All right, Chief's going straight to the bed. Great. Libra, Scorpio. Libra. Tell me about a mystery person for Libra. Says the Hangman. So this is a person that you're trying to get a different angle on. This can also tell us in some ways it's an individual that is familiar to you, Libra, but you're just not sure about, right? The most obvious thing with this card is it's talking about stuck situations or something that is stuck, all right? This may be a person where it is just stagnating with or it is not moving forward with, all right? But sometimes when that happens, you may try to approach it differently or look at things in a different way, all right? Maybe you're missing something, all right? On the flip side, it could also suggest that it's this person doing that to you, but it's less likely. What is in this person's energy, this mystery person for Libra? What is in their energy? So it does have the Fool. Okay. So we got some Aquarius energy there. It says the 8 of Swords. So this person is in their mind a lot. I find it very odd here. There's 2 cards suggesting being arrested or stuck. Look at that. I'm not saying arrested by the law. I'm just saying it's showing them in bondage here and then also in bondage here. It's almost implying their hands or position is tied or it's stuck. So they are overthinking something here. Tell us more about the 8 of Swords. What is causing that? It says a Tower. Something that unfortunately did not go in their favor at all. Well, in this particular version here, it shows, the Tower cards are always slightly different. Sometimes it just shows the Tower itself. Some versions show a man specifically falling out of it. And in other versions, in this case, it shows a man and a woman falling out. In other words, why something blew apart. All right? We can reasonably assume that each one of those swords is some scenario or situation that is being thought of. In other words, it just is too many things, too many factors. Who knows? It could be any one of these swords. Wondering who was right, who was wrong, what is true, what is not true. The Fool, though, does show an exiting energy of this, though. Tell us about Fool. In other words, they're transitioning out of this energy potentially. 7, there you go. So we have the 7 of Wands reversed. This tells us that this person is... So what is significant about this is it's highlighting that this person's in a stress bubble. A stagnation period, but it's saying that they are considering moving out of it. All right. The 7 of Wands is a collapse energy. In other words, it is just giving up, throwing in the towel. All right. This is somebody that is let's just say to best illustrate an example, it is somebody that is fixating on why I lost my dream job, and you're going up in your mind, why did it happen? What did I do? Blah, blah, blah. Was it my manager that just hated me? Was it my co-workers that ratted me out? Wondering why I suddenly, for no reason, got fired. The whole thing came to an end. Well, there's only so long you can do it. And eventually it's suggesting you will move on to find something else and just give up. Throw in the towel. Well, I don't know what happened, but I guess I'll never know, but I gotta move on. So it's suggesting this person is, again, in this particular scenario, it seems like gonna go in another direction. We have Moon, though, which does suggest uncertainty of some sort. Maybe some type of spiritual things at play behind the scenes that are not affiliated or related to them. In other words, pulling the strings a little bit. How does this mystery person see, how do they see Libra? They see you as 9 of Wands upright, so it suggests Well, that's not a good energy to see you in. This can suggest they see you as somebody that is going through a lot, or there's two ways I can look at this. I don't think it's per se too great either way we look at it, but the first way is you are a difficult person. In other words, you have qualities about yourself which you will not compromise or change. In other words, you are entrenched in the way that you are, or how are you going to act, all right, or position, all right. You do get people in life that are more flexible than others. In other words, they, are more passive a little bit. Like, they can really adapt to different types of people. I know one of my friends, for example, who is the complete opposite of that. He has got a very, very, very challenging mind that is one in which you either get along with him or you don't. And he's got a massive temper. Like, let me tell you something, this guy is like a loose cannon if you can get on his bad side, all right? He's a cool guy, though. But again, certain people, right? So, but again, there's another person that I know that's completely like, it doesn't matter who he comes across. He can kind of, he work with them or laugh and chat and whatever, right? So it really depends on what side of the spectrum you're on. This person sees you as somebody, though, that is probably more on the rigid side, all right? This could be the way that you talk, the way that you act, or just how you are as a person, which is, again, not a problem, not faulting it, Libra. Just saying this person may see you as a bit more rigid, all right? If it's not relating to that, it can also just imply somebody that is going through rough times or hardships in your life. You're struggling with certain life challenges, or you have, you're always feeling in some ways that something is kind of holding you back or not going in your favor. So maybe there are things going in your favor, but there's something in particular that's really just bothering you. Maybe you've told this person, this just doesn't go my way, In general, this can just talk about that they see you as sometimes being difficult to deal with, all right? How does Libra see this mystery person? The Hermit reversed. So this can suggest you either get a sense you just don't know about this person, you don't hear from them, or this person just spends too much time in their head, their mind, or to themselves. You actually would be correct in that if that's how you feel, because it's suggesting that right here. The Hermit reversed here, just in general, tells us somebody that instead of making a decision or coming to their senses about being, because, let's look at the Hermit. The Hermit does tell us that sometimes life will throw us situations that are difficult to know the answer, all the answers to, but it's saying that you do have life experience enough so to make an informed choice about the path forwards. And if you really don't, you can always just consult somebody that may have the answer for you. But the Hermit reverse is like telling us about somebody that ain't interested in getting someone else's opinion. In other words, they want to rely on their own and only their own opinion. And that when they don't know, instead of having that answer to decide or something, they can't. They keep doubting themselves or going around in circles. And it's suggesting that is going on with this person. So the way that it's saying you see them is correct. It's saying that this person either doesn't make decision, won't commit or make a choice, or you find that they get stuck in their mind or overthink shit or overcomplicate things, all right? You may find that this person is, again, a deep thinker. It's possible. What can we expect from this person? It's, wow, saying the Hangman reversed. Okay, it's saying a worsening of this energy. What's causing that to worsen? Why is the Hangman worsen? says the devil, an illusion of some sort is present. What is the illusion? Tell us about the illusion. For this mystery person, what illusion is this? We have the Queen of Cups here reversed. This person may feel that you don't care. Oh, I won't take that. Tell us about the devil. We have 8 of Cups. Maybe I will take that, but we won't make it a focus. I think what the illusion is around whatever this person's wearing. This person is paralysis by analysis. All right. What can we expect from this person, this mystery person towards Libra in the near future? It says, this person may attempt, and it went, I couldn't really tell if it went over the 9 of Wands or the Tower. All right. They may attempt to make some sort of progress with you, but this Knight of Pentacles is slow. It's very slow in the tarot. It's faster than the Page, but out of all the Knight energies, it is the slowest, suggesting that this person may, even if you reached out to them or they reached out to you, whichever way, it would be to slow and steady. In other words, this person's being cautious. All right. Why is that? It's probably because this person, again, is an overthinker, or they're worrying something is going to go wrong, or, you know, it could also be your energy towards them, though, and them trying to navigate that. What is the core challenge here? Says the challenge is the Queen of Wands, your energy towards them. So Queen of Wands, what's interesting about that card is it's saying the openness. It's with that card is somebody that, you know, can be more available. They're single, ready to mingle. They're fun, they're exciting, they're not focusing on anything that's negative or bad. You know, they take chances. Generally will make their attraction known. All right. Why it's highlighting that as a challenge, I don't know. It could be implying that's not going on. All right. In other words, it could be the opposite, which would be not good, because then it's kind of showing. If we look at the opposite, it would be more shut off, not interested, not doing any of those things, which would probably suggest to this person, again, this kind of grinder, like grind energy. All right. So instead of seeing you in this kind of light, they're seeing you more like this, you know, which is not good. I don't know what to think of this situation. This sounds awfully complicated, but I don't know. The tarot's highlighting it for some reason. Good luck to you, Libra. It does suggest this person, at bare minimum, and at some point will try to, I don't know, give it a little push, see where it goes. Make some progress with you. I don't want any progress with them. I just want to live under a rock forever. All right. I just want to live under my rock. Scorpio. How are my Scorpios doing? Tell me about the mystery person for Scorpio. Who is this person and what can we know? Split the deck on the 5 of Pentacles. I'm going to have the Ace of Wands here. I'm going to take that. So I have this Lovers here. Won't take that, but this seems like a person that feels a little disconnected from you, estranged. Just kind of hoping that opportunity with you comes along. I don't really know for a fact that it's to you, but it can imply that this is somebody that is hoping to run into you. All right. I don't know why I got a hiking trail. I've never said that with this card, but I've just noticed, you know, it's like a trail here of some sort. This person may, you know, and it shows them waiting. Almost wonder if this person is waiting, wondering if they're going to run into you or something like that. All right. But it is somebody that feels definitely estranged or disconnected from you. You and them just don't really have that connection like you used to. What is in this person's energy, this mystery person for Scorpio? Wow, evidently the Lovers comes out again. So this person really, really feels that there's something that you and them do well together. Or could be. So we have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it is 9. The 9 of Swords. So it's saying this person is warring quite a bit. Or they overthink a lot. We do have that Moon there, which does tell us that there's probably things they're making up in their mind. Maybe they're wondering if this is I do wonder in some ways that this person's wondering if you're with somebody else or you already are taken or you're someone that's, you know, you wouldn't be interested in them. I think I said this once before, but you know, it's like there's one crow on the nest. It almost looks like a rejection. Could have been me. That could have been me. I guess it just wasn't good enough. There's me just hanging out. When is it going to be my turn? Why does this person feel disconnected or estranged from Scorpio? Says no success. A wish didn't come true. The 9 of Cups reversed can definitely suggest that unfortunately we can always wish to be millionaires, but we may unfortunately not obtain that in our lifetime. Dreams will... What? I remember there's like a movie when they're like talking about, you just gotta wish for it. Hold on to your dreams. I'm like, sorry, son. Not every dream comes true. Right? Unfortunately, this is an energy that can be a bit depressing, which is why depression is another characteristic of this card. Is that when you know, no matter how much you manifest something, and you're like, eventually the universe is going to line it up. Sometimes it just doesn't. It doesn't happen. This person gets a sense of that here. Like, Scorpio, I don't know what they're doing, but they were supposed to be with me. Did they see this giant heart I left in their porch? Why didn't they like that? A giant human heart. I left it right on their porch for them when I went to work. I don't know why they didn't, you know, why they're not like texting me back saying I love you. I don't know why they're talking about a prison cell. Like, what? What are they trying to say there? That's how I express my love language, baby. I just leave a real human heart on your porch. So, where'd you get it from? Just kidding. All right. How does Scorpio see this person, this mystery person? How does Scorpio see this mystery person? The card comes out. Wow, it says the Ace of Cups reversed. Well, how to read that? Because that's basically saying that... Well, let's clarify it first before we get an impression. What caused the Ace of Cups to go reversed? What would it suggest? Couldn't make it work, it says. So the Ace of Cups can be telling us about the potential for a new romantic opportunity. It's like it can be that moment where you meet somebody and you just happen to run into them, and it's like, wow, you say something and then the conversation just flows like that, flows like butter, warm butter. And it's like before you know it, you're on a date and you're laughing. Everything's great. And then the next minute you know, you're lovers. All right. I actually did have just one time in my life, there was a woman I never was with her for very long. I can't even say it was a relationship, but she had a very obnoxious laugh, and almost anything, and I shit you not, anything that came out of my mouth, she was just laughing at. Not quite my earlier impression, but it was pretty close to that. It was just like this obnoxious laugh, like, or something like that. But I was like, eventually it got to the point where I was like, oh, okay. Like, it got a little weird after a while, but hey, that's how she was. But this is kind of suggesting here that, again, it was, instead of that buttery situation, it didn't happen, all right? Either it became too much work, or it was just difficult to get it going. Like something was getting in the way. Like maybe the communication got a little bit weird. Or it's like you're trying to give them signs and they didn't take the bite or take the bait. If it's none of that stuff, it could have been other things that complicated the situation or got in the way. All right, so for some reason, it's highlighting it like it was an opportunity that got flushed down the drain or it got missed or passed. Maybe this person's just a bit of a depressing person. I don't know. What can we expect from this situation in the near future? What can Scorpio expect from this person? It says the Four of Cups reversed, so that is favorable to you because it suggests that if this person is having a bit of an isolation period, they're going to come out of it. All right. So we have the four. No, I'm not going to take that. Clarify Four of Cups reversed. Tell us more about the Four of Cups reversed. So we have the Nine of Cups. This is important what it says here because this shows us there was some sort of failure. I talked about that earlier. It's actually showing here the Nine of Cups. In other words, this person's coming out of some type of moping period, trying to get back what they lost. Look at that. Look at that bird. I did it. I finally caught it. That's you, Scorpio, right there in that thing's mouth. All right. So what does that really mean for you? It basically means that in some ways this person wants to try and have another shot. In other words, If at first you don't succeed, try, try, try again. In other words, I'm not done, baby. I gotta go for round 2. Eventually I'm gonna get you. I know the human heart on your porch didn't work, but I'll think of some other imaginative way to get your attention. Maybe a whole corpse on the doorstep would work. Okay, just kidding. Just hope you're not dating Mike Myers or something like that. Or Jason. Jason could be a little bit of a, I don't know, could be a rough ride, I guess. Overall, what do I think here? This is a person that's going through some transitioning period. All right, you may have had a timeout from them. This person may have felt that they tried it with you or attempted to in the past, didn't work. Either the relationship failed from stagnation or it just became burdened for some reason. But this person looked at it as a bit of a flop, or they haven't had much success with you, all right? Something has not gone in their favor. It shows them in a bit of a bummed out energy, stressed energy because of it. They may feel a degree of rejection or they weren't good enough. I'm not really sure. It does show them transitioning away and out of that and attempting to try and recapture what is lost. So whether that will actually yield anything is another story. But hey, they may go, they may pull a miracle out their ass and impress you. All right. Good luck to you. Hopefully you got something out of that wild, crazy reading. Now we got four signs left. What we got? Come on, no. Sagittarius. All right. Tell me about a mystery person for the sign of Sagittarius. Who is this person? What can we know? What can Sagittarius know about whoever this person is? Says the Lovers reversed. Bummer. All right. So this may have been a person you're particularly close to that you fell out of a forever connection. It should have been forever, but unfortunately life had other plans. All right. Could have been two people that had a very similar path. It should have, as I said, been forever or had that potential, but life threw a 180 and it just changed one person's directions or both. All right. The Lover's reverse can also talk about there's a high emphasis on sometimes quarreling or fighting or jealousy issues after something ends, and it emphasizes that because of the intense connection two people feel. In other words, there's a lot of emotional investment, so there's always that potential for the opposite of the pleasant, which was the negative, right? I love you went to I hate you. Okay, it may not be extreme like that for everybody, but we still have 7 of Cups here. Kind of, I don't know, that may be important in this reading. Some sort of fantasy going on here. Tell us about this mystery person for Sagittarius. What is in their energy? What is in this person's energy? So it does show the King of Cups. So this person does have some type of romantic interest in you, or they are exploring their emotions. That's too many cards. What else is in this person's energy? And it says, so we got double kings in our energy. We got King of Swords. So we have air and water. Why? What is causing them to be in this energy? It just says the Hierophant. That does, again, that actually doesn't tell me anything. What does that have to do? Well, let's use this again. What does that have to do with Sagittarius? It says the sun. All right, we're not going to take that. That is not answering my question. What is their interest in Sagittarius? 5 of Swords. What an odd reading. This reading is not making a lot of sense here. Because when I was highlighting the conflict side of things, it's saying they have interest in it. This can talk about contracts here. If this could be for this is like for some of you, it could suggest this is a ex-husband, ex-wife. But why would they have interest in that? I don't know. Why are they interested in conflict? Or what allures them to that? We're not going to take that either. Let's just... let's ask a different question. How does Sagittarius see this mystery person? It says Knight of Wands reverse. So you don't see this person doing anything, or you feel that this person is very erratic. All right. There's a lot of negative qualities with the Knight of Wands reverse because it can talk about immaturity or somebody that vacillates a lot. One minute they saying they're going to do this and they don't. They change their mind a lot. Again, this is matching someone that would probably be in this energy because, again, it is a degree of game playing or drama. How does this person see Sagittarius? We have Five of Swords again in a different deck. Oh, maybe I'll take that. Why, if this person is drama-filled, so it's if we took that, it's just basically saying that then you see them as being in Five of Swords, which I probably agree with that. So maybe you know that this person is attracted to things like that. Why is this person, if they're attracted to drama or whatever, why would they be in the King of Cups, King of Swords energy? What would be in that? It's saying because they stress a lot. Then what is their interest in Sagittarius? So we have the Lovers again. All right. I'll take that. Person could have insecurities, whoever they are. What is causing, well, it's going to say the drama. Why did it fail? What is a barrier or something that caused it to fail the last time? Between this mystery person and Sagittarius. It says the success. Or somebody trying to win. I don't know. So it's saying, well, what was the problem? It wasn't successful. This reading, I feel, doesn't really tell me a tremendous amount. Tell us about the King of Cups towards Sagittarius. So it's saying whether this person should cut the cord or not. So here's my impression, all right? I know I'm kind of going in circles here. What this reading is basically pointing out is a little bit different from the other readings I've done today. It shows more, in my opinion, an insecure person or somebody that could have been, again, at some point in time, quite involved with you. A Sagittarius where the connection was strong, it was good for a period of time, but what the exact reason is why it deteriorated is not clear here. All right, it just ended. It does show some source of drama, which this person, it says, potentially does instigate or has the potential to instigate it. All right, there may be some degree of game playing or but it's showing this person is in their mind a lot. If I had to take a guess, the reason that's going on is either jealousy issues or failure of something or just annoyance of how something that happened. This person may be, this person may have insecurity issues or something like that. This person, it also would imply, has like still some type of emotional feelings, I think, towards the Sagittarius, but is wondering if they should just cut the cord on it. Leave it be. Probably because it's bothering them quite a bit. They may just know that it's not, maybe they haven't made any progress with this, or it just it goes around in circles, or it's not going to ever be what they want it to be. What can we expect in the near future with this mystery person in Sagittarius? So it says the Page of Swords reversed. Again, it's pointing more attention like Five of Swords energy. and instability. Why does that happen? Why does that occur? Why does that instability occur? Why does it suggest instability occurs? I don't know. This reading's kind of weird. So we have the King of Cups reversed. Oh. I don't know what to think here. The King went from upright to reversed. So evidently something changed. What causes the King of Cups to be reversed? Four of Pentacles going to the Knight of Wands reversed. I don't really know what that's saying. Maybe this person is just a bit childish. I don't know. It keeps showing cards suggesting energy like that. Also giving up. It's saying giving up. So why are we doing this reading? What is the point of this if it just self-concludes? Sometimes readings like this don't really make a hell of a lot of sense to me because I'm like, if it just has a self-fulfilling prophecy, then why do I care? I mean, what does it matter to me to read it? Saying Ace of Wands. Well, tell me more about the Ace of Wands. Saying a delay. And a choice to move forwards. Here's what I'm getting here, Sagittarius. In summary, you kind of heard my whole case around this. Alright, if I had to take a guess, and we live in the spiritual world of the tarot, it is implying that in some ways, while this may be a flop and a failure, and it's going to probably have a roller coaster of problems with this person, it is saying that despite the delays, it will come to a crossroads to potentially move things forwards between you and them. So why do I think that maybe the only chance in hell that that happens is because this person does actually, behind all the shit it suggests, does actually have some type of a romantic interest, but I don't know. It's just like a way. This reading's very complicated in what it's trying to say. It's like you would more want to see something that's consistent. This doesn't have consistency. It shows this person vacillating a lot. It shows it here. It shows it here. Going here. It shows like some sort of drama that's consistent. It shows that this person may overthink and complicate things. All right. This person may go back and forth with maybe I should just leave this be. Then they do want it. Then they don't. You may kind of be wary to this person because of the inconsistency. In other words, you want to deal with me or you don't want to deal with me. Why am I here? What am I doing? Well, it's just because you're being cold to me, you know. I called you like 10 times. You didn't answer. That's because I was having my 20th operation. For what? See? You don't believe me. You just don't believe me. Just kidding. I don't know. Good luck to you, Sagittarius. I don't know. I wish this reading was a little bit better, but this is what it's showing. But it's a mystery person that apparently still has pilot issues and is still very much interested in you. Could be the suggestion here was somebody that had a pretty close connection to at some point. That's the biggest clue. Could be a water, air sign. Doesn't per se have to be, but water and air. Water and air is in your hair. Capricorn, tell me about the mystery person for our Capricorns. What can we know about this person? We have this 7 of Cups here. Kind of want to take that, but I want to. What can we know about this mystery person? So is the Justice reversed here. We have some Libra energy. Why is the Justice reversed? Why is it used to describe this person as Justice reversed? So there could have been some conflict with this person leaving the situation. There's a lot of things we could say about this pairing. This can talk about affairs or cheating or betrayal. Why can it say that? Because the Justice typically talks about things where someone's breaking trust or doing something behind their back, illegal behavior, right? It can also talk about unfair positions, somebody doing something that changes the balance of something, arguing, fighting, constantly getting on someone's case, you know, again, anything that's going to upset those scales. All right, it'll go reverse. But it's showing here somebody had to walk away or leave. So was it you or this person? I don't know. But evidently, whatever drama or issue that came up or was going on for a while caused an ending here. Disappointed. Dissatisfaction. What is in this person's energy? This mystery person for Capricorn. We have a Tower here. Kind of want to take it as well. So we have the Queen of Swords here. So that could be you. What else is in this person's energy? So it came out horizontal here, so we'll take that. It's the Two of Pentacles. So this is somebody vacillating between... So we've got one side that is unstable and one side that is stable. So in other words, trying to find some type of happy medium here. In other words, they want to fix something. All right. Why is the Queen of Swords strong in their energy? What can we know about that Queen? The Five of Cups. This person may want to communicate some degree of disappointment to their Queen. Look what you did! Look what you did! You spilled all the cups! And you upset my bunny over here. I don't really feel like that's a productive way to resolve this. Look what you did! You did that! Maybe this person's, I don't know, not really proficient at making things right. My fault? It's not my fault. Just kidding. I'm throwing fuel in the fire. For I don't know that. This person may, in all seriousness, just want to discuss that they're upset about something. All right. Just wanted you to know. Felt that it might be a good idea to come guilt you a little bit. I saw that you were doing a little too well without me. So, what do you think of that? How does Capricorn see this person? This mystery person. Come on now. So it says the King of Swords reversed. So You know, this automatically is talking, we've got an issue here because we've got rivaling energies here. So we've got a Capricorn that matches this person's energy. But the problem is that it's highlighting in imbalance already, and it's showing two people with domineering energies that are, one's upright, one's reversed. In other words, implying that they can't get along, or, you know, the communication could be a problem here. All right? It can also imply in some ways that this person is, you know, maybe they're, you know, the King of Swords reverse can suggest they don't talk, they fail to clarify things, or they leave critical details out, like where they stand on something. Like, do you still love me? I mean, I love you as a friend. What does that mean? So you do love me? Yeah, we're like, I love you so much as a friend. What does that mean? As a friend? Well, you're like, I mean, like lover? I mean, like a friend lover, yeah. Yeah, friend lover. Baby? You know, I don't know. This could be a person that doesn't want to give an answer or a clear answer on where they stand, all right? The King of Swords reverse can also talk about, unfortunately, a bad mouth. This person may get hostile-tempered or quickly triggered or argumentative. Let me tell you why you're wrong. Let me tell you what I did and what you didn't do. All right? Oh, you want to tell me that I'm the liar? Well, let me tell you about all the reasons why you're a lying piece of shit. All right? So this person may have a very trigger-sensitive spot where they feel that they're in the right on certain things and you're in the wrong on certain things. So when you point the finger at them, let me point it right back to you. Oh, you want to say that I caused the problem of the relationship? Well, I can do that too. I can let you know all the reasons why you screwed up as well. So, does it help anything? Probably not. But this person's like, I'm not going to allow you to just get all the credit here. What else is this? I think this came out. The King of Cups is here. I think this person does have romantic interest in you, or there are feelings behind whatever this mess is here. All right. How? What is the biggest challenge between Capricorn and this person with this mirroring energy? What is the biggest challenge or obstacle that's coming up for them? Too many cards. I don't feel like I'm getting anything. Biggest challenge between Capricorn and this person. We have Tower. I split the deck on Tower again. Maybe it really just wants to be a Tower. And it shows fighting or arguing right here. Take that. Jesus. And it shows Five of Cups reversed, which is very interesting because it actually says that this person will communicate something around that to you. So what it's implying is, do we come out of this depressing period, or do we keep fighting and arguing with each other? So this is implying it's a person that where the challenge is trying to move it forwards or not moving it forwards. All right. So it sounds like they still have interest in you, still have some type of romantic feelings, but there's some, like, I don't know what this barrier is, you know. Why does this person get so defensive towards Capricorn? It says failure, saying failure or getting nothing out of struggles. So Six of Wands reverse can be somebody that is putting their all into something and getting nothing. You lost. You lose. Who wants to walk away empty-handed? This person don't. That's for damn sure. Why do they feel they lost with Capricorn? Why do they feel they lost? It shows some sort of rejection. That's why it's saying this loss is here. It's saying that they at some point tried or something like that, and it just, I don't know, they got rejected or it didn't go to plan. Capricorn, look, I don't know what's going on here. This whole thing seems like a drama fest. Here's my final opinion here. All right. We've got so many different things going on in this reading that it's hard to really know what is what truly. I think that this is there is similar energies here. The fact that we got a King and a Queen of Swords tells me that there is some mirroring of energy between two people. This could have been a relationship that did work well. Like when it works well, it's amazing. Like people would be like, you guys are perfect for each other. But behind closed doors, it seems like it's got problems here. Could there be trust issues? Yes. Is there probably some degree of egos that are rivaling each other? Yes. Is there some sort of jealousy or insecurities or some sort of that going on here? Yes. All right. This seems like a love story that maybe went wrong for some reason and somebody had to leave it. It got too complicated. Probably, again, jealousy is a big reason why. All right. Like, why are you talking to so-and-so? Now I'm going to start an entire argument over that for the entire night, just so you know. All right, because I saw you sent a message. All right. I don't know. That's what I got for you, Capricorn. I think whoever this person is still going to want to come around. All right. Just because there is similarities between the both of you. But it's predicting some sort of drama here. But it's saying that's the challenge. It can either be drama or there's going to be some way to resolve this constant disappointment and get over it. But I don't know. I don't know how that happens. Who knows? Good luck to you. Seems like your evil half wants their good half back, or vice versa. Maybe you're both evil. The yin and the yang couple. Mr. and Mrs. Yin and Yang. Yeah, that'd be a great one. What's your last name? Yang? What's yours? Ying? Well, which last name do we keep? Ying or Yang? And from that day forth, the balance was forever questioned. Aquarius. Tell me about the mystery person for our Aquarius. Who is this person? What can we know? Can Aquarius know about this mystery person for Aquarius? It shows the Temperance reversed. I think that's the first time I've seen this card all day today. So this suggests somebody you can't get along with, or you try to make it work with them, but for some reason there's certain things that are just not mixing between you and them. Clarify Temperance reversed. So it's saying your priorities are different with the Seven of Pentacles. In other words, you're seeing things in a certain way, Aquarius, and they may be seeing things in a different way. In other words, when you guys assess a situation, whether it's the relationship health or how the relationship's doing, they see it completely different to how you see it. Right? Priorities could also be different here. I would like to, I want to live a certain lifestyle, or I'd like to live a certain way, or I value these certain things, and this other person maybe agrees with a good chunk of them, but has different opinion on what is truly most important. All right. The Seven of Pentacles also is a card that talks about somebody that's putting investment and time into something. Why are they doing that? Because they deem it's important. You know, maybe it's your job. Maybe it's more, some people are like, screw the dollar. It's all about love and family. And other people are more about, oh no, it's all about my religion. I have to, you know, do whatever to please God. Or no, I want to be that person that's doing philanthropy. What's that word? Philanthropy work. I don't even know if I said that right, but you know, and then you see them giving to the homeless, trying to do videos where they're giving stuff away for free, and I'm going to Jamaica to help some mission over there. All right, so that's important to know because you may not really, you see the importance of it, and it's not like you're saying you don't agree with them doing, I don't know, humanitarian work, but you just may not see it as a priority in your life right now. You're saying, that's wonderful, but this is what I'm focusing on, all right? This is what I think is important right now. There could be differences here, it's suggesting, between you guys in that, right? Money could also be a thing here, as something that's suggesting there's imbalance with. Like, what is being accomplished? You may also get that this person is putting less emphasis on certain things that you think should be important. What is in this mystery person's energy for Aquarius? Shows a King of Cups, so it's showing that they still have emotional interest towards you, Aquarius. What else is in their energy towards Aquarius? And it shows Devil here. So there could even be some degree of obsession or wondering about you, even if they don't have a good reason why. Why is Devil here? Showing Queen of Swords. Something to do with I'm just gonna take it as they must have an obsession towards you. I don't know. They may be attracted to the way that you communicate or the way that you act. I don't know. There's something that you say. Kind of odd, but this could be a person that likes the challenge or the chase, maybe? I don't know. How does this mystery person see Aquarius currently? You see you as doing all right. You're doing okay for yourself. We got Two of Pentacles, so they get a sense that you're doing fine for yourself. And they also see potential for an opportunity because of that to do something. So it's Ace of Wands is initiation for something else. Or you would be open to it. How does Aquarius see this mystery person? You get a sense that this person is either A, too hesitant to talk to you, or they're choosing deliberately not to talk to you. Or if you were to hear from them, it would be absolutely sudden and unexpected. In other words, they're unpredictable. So with the Knight of Swords, it's typically somebody that you're confident would just go. When they have something on their mind, they just tell you. All right? They don't wait. You know, even if it's, you know, I know a person that's like that. You know, when it's like they don't hold back for shit. You know, when they gotta tell you something, doesn't matter if it's bad or good or what's going on. They'll just tell you. They just tell you. That's how they are. All right? But this is showing like almost the opposite of that. It's like they may have something they want to tell you, but they'll just hold back. All right? It could be because they're not confident in what they want to say, or you may get a sense that they're intentionally holding back, all right? Even though they want to say something, they won't. All right? Could be reasons behind that, I don't know. But the last thing is that it also can suggest abrupt communication that comes out of nowhere. In other words, they hold back for a while, then all of a sudden, hey, you know. Person could be a bit unpredictable. What is the challenge with this person? The challenge is getting it started, it's saying, and seeing eye to eye. You see both hands here. So it seems that agreeing on something seems to be a problem. You know, that's my one of my foot in the door cards, because it's really just saying that just trying to get a stable foundation for the connection to grow off is a problem between Aquarius and this person. All right. Strongly suggesting that, given that we see the hands here, that this card is saying the opposite of that. That it'd be two people that couldn't agree, but it's saying there the challenge is them agreeing on something. Oh, why? Why is there such disagreement on Aquarius? No, I can't really ask that. Why does this person disagree with Aquarius a lot? Why does this person have a hard time agreeing with Aquarius? Well, let me ask this. Why does Aquarius have a hard time agreeing with this person? It says the Three of Cups. This may be because of priorities of the other person. This is a socializing card. All right, it's a lighter energy. It's fun or whatever. It can, for some of you, less likely here, but it can also talk about other options or other suitors. Because that card can imply somebody that is just, things are going well. It is generally seen as a positive card in the tarot. But the thing is that depending on where you're reading and how you're reading it, it can imply that it's somebody that is enjoying themselves. If they're going out to the bars, well, they're hoping to find somebody. They're looking for other options, all right? It's socializing. You're getting to know new people, all right? You're not taking phone numbers to collect his baseball cards. You're hoping to call them, right? Who knows? Hey, you wanna hang out? You wanna get a cold cut with me? Smoke a cigar, talk. I once knew an Italian girl and stuff, and I never in my life thought I would ever get along with an Italian person, but, well, I really didn't actually, but it was a very strange connection, because one part of me was just, I just couldn't really get over the way that nothing against Italian people, I just couldn't get over, it's like, I don't know if it's a cultural thing, but it's like just the belief system or how we do it. It's like a Jersey thing or something. I don't know. Whatever. Enough about that. But I don't know where I was going with that. But anyways. Something with the Three of Cups, it says. What is this person? Can we know? Why do they not get along with Aquarius? What causes problems for them? Says your romantic feelings towards them, apparently. So we got Aquarius that's suggesting, is wondering who this person's with. Who are your honeys over there? You know that I care about you. Well, who are they? Seems like this queen is having a hard time deciding whether she likes her queen. I don't know. That's what I got for you, Aquarius. All right. It seems like this is kind of an odd situation. All right. It sounds like this person does still have interest in you. They may be holding back, it suggests. Difficulty agreement seems to be the biggest factor or issue here. There may be trust issues. It would imply why the Aquarius doesn't trust this person. I'm sure you have your reasons. All right. But just because I'm saying that doesn't mean that this person, I could be reading them in a more negative light here, just so you know. And, you know, they may not be as bad as I'm saying it is. So I don't want to say this person's a total bastard. I just don't know. But it's implying that maybe they're being misjudged. But the devil being in the energy doesn't really imply or help your case here, because it does say that they may have some certain behaviors that can be not so good. But anyways, Aquarius, that's what I got for you. Good luck to you, all right? All right, we'll ask one more question from the Crow Tarot. What can Aquarius expect going into 2026 with this person? So it says the 8 of, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. An exit of the exiting of the 9 of Swords. I always thought that was the 8. Then what happens after 8 or 9 of Swords? Reverse. It says the Sun reverse. What does that mean for Aquarius? I don't really know what that means. It says 8 of Swords reverse. Aquarius, I don't really know what the significance of that is. It's saying some sort of like overthinking or stressful period or complication in like if there's a loss of clarity, it's saying that that's all going to end. Why does that help with the situation? I don't really know. All right. It can also suggest something will be revealed as well. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. All right. Probably because this person may come back around. I don't know. All right. My final impression is I think it's saying that there's some sort of like tension or something between an Aquarius and this person, and it's saying in some ways that'll eventually end. But why it's sustaining for so long, I don't know. All right. One more sign. One more sign. Pisces, you're the last sign. Tell me about the person, our mystery person for our Pisces. You know what? Let's choose a different deck. Let's Let's use this one. Talks about a mystery person for Pisces. So it says the Ace of Wands reversed. So this may have been a person that came around, attempted to start something or initiate something with you, and it, I don't know, didn't work. Either you weren't interested, or it just didn't go anywhere, or something got in the way. What can we know about this mystery person for Pisces? What is in their energy? Showing Hermit energy. So this person is take the, no, I'm gonna take that. So with the Hermit, is probably suggesting this person is in the shadows. All right, it is most generally suggests somebody that's wouldn't be talking with you. Another card comes out. It says the Fool. We'll take that as a clarification to the Hermit. So it does kind of suggest that this person may be reflecting on how to essentially reapproach this again. All right. Fool is taking a risk or a journey, or taking a chance on something. Why would this person be spending so much time in their mind about it? All right. But this card does, with Hermit, does show problem solving. So why would somebody problem solve that? Well, probably because it failed the last time, it suggests, or didn't go anywhere. So it can also be consideration. This person may be considering whether they should try again or initiate something. I don't know. Something around that. What else is in this mystery person's energy for Pisces? It says Page of Wands reversed again. Well, I say that because it's mirroring this energy here. So evidently, again, no communication or being stalled. We have Six of Swords. So this could be we'll take that as a clarification, because that's suggesting they're trying to, again, figure out how to move this forward, if they can or not. How does this person see Pisces currently? How does this mystery person view Pisces? It says Page of Swords. So I think this person does see you as somebody that's open to talking, or they get a sense that you're just more curious of anything. They may get a sense that you do keep, you may check their page out, if their social media page, or if it's not that, then they just might see you as somebody that's open to communication. How does Pisces see this mystery person? How odd. So it says the King of Cups. So it's almost like this person has interest in you. One would ask, if that is the case, then why did it not go anywhere the last time? We have Moon here. What caused it to delay the last time? Oh man. It said the Nine. I'm not going to take that. It says the Nine of Pentacles reversed. This can suggest somebody that you might have thought was not ready for a commitment or something like that. I think it's less likely that, but it's possible. What would cause Pisces to delay it with this person? Again, not seeing it as something that could be successful. I don't know what to tell you here, Pisces, because it's almost implying that this is a person that I guess felt it. They had interest in you, but for whatever reason, this is a Pisces that decided, nah. I've got my doubts about this person, or I just don't see it working. What is the challenge here? So we've got Page of Wands reversed again. So I guess communication or getting it started. How does Page of Wands reverse relate to the sign of Pisces? Now it says King of Cups reversed. So in your case, you are getting the sense this person doesn't care. How could it be the opposite of what you said earlier? That's what I don't get. So this could be a Pisces. The only way I can read that is this person's displaying that they have feelings or they care, but then Pisces is interpreting it that, well, you may be saying that it's not genuine. In other words, you really behind closed doors don't actually care. You're just making it seem like you care, but you don't. Maybe this is because of something that happened in the past that has convinced you that I know better. So this may be trust issues. You don't believe this person. I mean, if that is true, then yeah, this wouldn't start. What can we expect in the near future going into 2026 between Pisces and this person, this mystery person? Says Queen of Cups reversed, and it went over the Page of Wands reversed. So it's saying there'll be more stalling because, again, and now it's saying on your side. Which really and truly, it was always on your side. In other words, the source of the problem is it's saying at 100% on Pisces' side. I don't know how to rectify that one there. All right. A cold and shut off queen is not going to allow something to start here. How does what is causing the Queen of Cups to be reversed? What causes that? So it says the Two of Wands reversed, unable to decide or make a decision. Well, what can we? Is there something unexpected? An unexpected factor in this? Something that could change the direction? Says coming out of some type of hurt. So it's saying that here's what we need to know, and this is your reading, Pisces. It is basically suggesting this is a situation between two people where this person seems to have had interest in Pisces, all right? Is it possible that something went awry in the past? Who knows, maybe. But whatever the case is, fast forward to now, this person still seems to have some sort of romantic interest in you. But what it's saying is that while that may be something that they're displaying, I don't know how well they're displaying it, or maybe something they've told you or tried to give you an impression of, or that's how they're going to approach you in the near future. It's saying that a Pisces wouldn't believe it or it'd be doubting it, all right? Which causes it to not start, it's saying, all right? There could be concerns from the Pisces side that maybe this person's feelings are just, again, something they're saying and it's not actually genuine, all right? It's saying one influencing factor is also that Pisces' heart shut off because of the fact that they cannot make some commitment to a direction. It's saying what would help this is the Three of Swords reversed, implying that there's probably some sort of heartbreak, pain, or disappointment that is causing this problem to occur, which stalls things from ever moving forwards. Who knows, Pisces? Good luck to you. That's what I got for you, all right? That's what it says. Will this apply to all of you? No, all right? It seems to be focused on certain Pisces. Maybe you're stuck in this loop, because this is what it looks like, is a loop. All right? I don't know if I can. Oh yeah. Good luck. I'm done.